Well, a brand new video game, Pokemon Winds and Waves, has been announced, and with that, we've also got a look at the brand new starter Pokemon. Yeah, ooh boy, a very interesting reaction. Obviously seeing these Pokemon for the first time, they don't necessarily look like Pokemon at first, especially when you see them in the 3D graphics. But over on the official Pokemon website, we've got some more information, including the 2D artwork, and boy, they're looking really good. So here are some of my thoughts and some of the discussion on them. First of all, we've got Brout, which is not an owl, or at least it doesn't look like an owl, meaning it doesn't really tread too much of the same ground as Rowlet, but instead this is known as the Bean Chick Pokemon, which, okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it is sort of shaped like a little bean, it's really funny, and that also contributes to the name being Brout, a combination of brow and sprout, which we can see right on the face with the design, a sprout brow. I wonder if that's going to end up being like a bigger part of its design in the future, because for the most part it does look overall very fluffy, much like a chick, which is really cool because it gets to be this greenish yellow, but I'm assuming that as it evolves we'll see the sprout continue to grow and it take a more green color overall. The black feet are also really interesting, kind of grounding it a bit. Beginning as a chick is a neat idea, though we've definitely seen that with other bird starter Pokemon, but it makes a lot of sense as starter Pokemon definitively go through 3 stages of evolution, and then being alongside you with the journey is part of the whole design. The official website tells us that this Pokemon runs about energetically while photosynthesizing using the leaves on its brow. It's lively, but it can also be a bit clumsy. Definitely something I would expect from a baby bird Pokemon. Sort of builds the lore and connects it to grass-type Pokemon with the photosynthesizing, but I think it is a neat idea that it's very energetic, at least as a baby, so I like to see how that develops as it evolves. Then we've got Pombon, which I have seen a lot of discussion about because look at it, it's just a funny little doggo. Being the puppy Pokemon and a fire type, the name Pombon is a combination of like Pomeranian or Bonbon also, and maybe potentially Bomb, the way that the OMB is in the middle of a name, and that connects to it being a fire type. Very fluffy, and once again all the fire type Zodiac people are discussing again because it's a dog, you know, just completely ignoring Fennekin and Fuecoco. But okay, I'll give you the point on this one. I think Pombon is really funny, and obviously one of the big discussions about it is that it is yet another quadrupedal starter Pokemon, and how people really want it to stay a quadrupedal starter Pokemon all the way through evolution, because you know, they don't really want another Incineroar. But in all honesty, looking at this design with just how fluffy the front is, I think it is pretty fair to assume it will potentially stay on 4 legs all the way through evolution, maybe treading a little of the same ground as Arcanine along the way, but again, just with how fluffy the face is, I don't really see that translating into something that works on 2 legs. It's really cool that it has the fire tuft at the top of the hair, but reading about it, it seems like most of the fire energy is coming from within. The area below its throat glows faintly from the heat generating organ within its lungs. This Pokemon is guileless and friendly, so I would really love to see that element focused on a bit more through its evolution. And then finally we have Gecqua, the water gecko Pokemon, and that one being a very simple name, just Gecko plus Aqua, and this is the Pokemon that I'm probably going to be rolling with, at least just based on first impressions, because it is yet another water type reptile and that is sort of my thing, but I really do love the design of this. Obviously let's go ahead and address it, it does look a lot more stereotypically feminine, with a big old water droplet eyelashes there and just the fact that they're halfway closed, so because of that I was totally expecting this to be one of the least favorite Pokemon, but I'm seeing a lot of love for it online, so hey, I guess I could at least be validated in that. We see it go back and forth between like 2 legs and 4 legs, which makes sense for this being an anthropomorphized gecko, but I'm really curious how the evolution is going to go later on. A lot of people obviously making the joke about a water type Salazzle, which you know, I wouldn't really mind if that ends up being the case, but I think there's a good choice that it keeps the same basic body shape, just kind of grown a bit bigger, and I'm going to bring this up now after we've discussed all 3 Pokemon, but I know with Pokemon Winds and Waves being the way it is, there's the potential to have some ride Pokemon. I don't know if that's going to be the starters or anything, but I will just say that having a bird, a dog, and then a water gecko, to me those feel like Pokemon that could eventually become something we could ride in the air, the land, and the sea. Just my knee-jerk reaction thoughts to that. So from that perspective, I could see these Pokemon being a little more animalistic, which is definitely the case with the forms that we see here. So I don't know, that's my prediction going out there like a whole year in advance. Anyway, back to Gecqua, I do like the design even though it is a really big old bobblehead here, but mostly the colors. Getting to see some dark blue on a starter Pokemon, we really haven't seen that all that much, aside from like Piplup, but also having a lighter color as a highlights is really fun, almost an aqua blue, or as I call it, the Gatorex blue. Yeah, this is definitely going to be my Pokemon buddy, at least just from what we've seen so far. So yeah, dude, I'm totally ready. The information on the website is really funny too. This Pokemon launches springy balls of water from its tail. Gecqua is very intelligent and maneuvers shrewdly while putting on airs. And if you don't know what putting on airs means, don't worry, that's just fancy talk. If you want to be fancy, put your pinky up like this. But also we get some hints at the personality of of this Pokemon, again, very intelligent and shrewd, so maybe that means it's a little sassy, and I guess I could totally see that with the eyes looking the way they do. But right off the bat, I really do like the energy of the trio so far. Anyway, those are some of my quick thoughts and potential evolution discussions on the brand new starter Pokemon, as well as the information on the website not included in the trailer, which I kinda wish we would have gotten an extra breakdown after the trailer. Overall, I think it was a pretty good look at the game, but for now we'll just go in and discuss the starters, because there is a lot more to break down and a lot more to theorize in the year that we're gonna have to wait for this game. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Which starter Pokemon is your favorite? Which one are you choosing just based on what we've seen so far today? And what are you hoping they look like as we go through our adventure in the region that is currently still unnamed? As it is Pokemon Day, remember to leave a like and subscribe and hype up the video. That one's also a weird thing that YouTube does, but hey, it helps, trust me. Anyway, I gotta get back to watching that trailer and dissecting every little bit of it that I can. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the Great Gators, Super Normal Paranatural, XX Creepy Raw XX, JBOTW23, Paolo Stolben, IRL Lugosi, Miranda Ray, Star Shooter, Alex Switch Shiny Hunts, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Cheez-It62, GatorKid509, TF, Mathaclog947, Taijirai, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to the brand new emotes for comments and live streams, as well as early videos, our Discord server, and member exclusive videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I will catch you all later.
You can discover new Pokemon and explore a world beyond your own in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon on Nintendo 3DS. Games rated everyone.